From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the News Blast for this hour. LGBTQ Nation is reporting that after a year-long effort to install an official historical marker recognizing the LGBTQ plus community at the Rainbow Lounge, a gay bar in Fort Worth, Texas, that was targeted in an infamous 2009 police raid, the effort was ultimately thwarted by Republican Tarrant County Judge Tim O'Hare. The site for the historical marker, 651 South Jennings Avenue, was the location of the Rainbow Lounge. Shortly after opening on June 28, 2009, Fort Worth Police and Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission agents raided the bar without prior notice, using excessive force and arresting patrons for public intoxication. The raid resulted in one man being hospitalized for brain bleeding and another suffering broken ribs. The raid, which occurred on the 40th anniversary of the Stonewall riots, mobilized the Dallas-Fort Worth area LGBTQ plus community and garnered national publicity, ultimately leading to sweeping reforms of the city's anti-discrimination laws and the implementation of diversity training for local legal officials. Unfortunately, the Rainbow Lounge burned down in June 2017. To this day, the site lies abandoned as leasing issues prevent the bar from being rebuilt. Investigators never stated the cause of the fire. Arson was never officially ruled out. Todd Camp, who runs Fort Worth LGBTQ plus history group Yesterqueer, told the Fort Worth Report that the city approved of a historical marker after Camp gave a presentation on local queer history to city staff. Everything seemed to be moving accordingly. However, Tarrant County Judge Tim O'Hare issued a letter to the Historic Commission claiming the application for the historical marker was improperly submitted and did not go through the Tarrant County Historical Commission through its approval process. Before a state marker can be submitted to the state for approval, it must undergo a review process from the local county's historical society. While O'Hare argued that the process bypassed established precedent for approval, former Tarrant County Historical Commission Chair Coletta Strickland told the Fort Worth Report that this wasn't the case. There was nothing untoward or out of the ordinary that was done for this application, Strickland said. Nevertheless, O'Hare wrote in a letter opposing the gay bar's historical marker. Allowing the marker to proceed under these circumstances risks generating unnecessary controversy and undermining the credibility of both the local and state historical commissions. While his letter didn't directly attack LGBTQ plus people, a statement from the judge's chief of staff, Ruth Ray, says that O'Hare does not support a historical marker glorifying radical gender ideology and drag performances. People visit public spaces for recreation and relaxation, often with their children. As the vast majority of our nation agrees, transgenderism should not be pushed on our children, Ray said. O'Hare has a history of opposing LGBTQ plus rights and having far-right political beliefs. As a Tarrant County judge, he has led efforts to cut funding for nonprofits that work with at-risk children, citing their views on racial inequality and LGBTQ plus rights. There are over 16,000 historical markers that can be found in all of 254 of Texas's counties to commemorate elementary schools, historic mansions, plantations, Black historic locations, and even ones dedicated to historical female figures from Texas. Despite this large number and the size of the state, there is currently only one officially designated LGBTQ plus historical marker in Texas, the Crossroads, in the Oak Lawn neighborhood of Dallas, recognizing its significance as the heart of the city's LGBTQ plus community. So, in other words, this judge was cut from the same cloth as U.S. Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito. He is little more than a bigot and a disgrace to the bench and should be called out as such. That's the News Blast for this hour. Hope you enjoyed listening. If so, download the Live 365 app for more news and commentary, and please stay out of Texas. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.